Fallout New Vegas 2 is reportedly in early talks. There are lawsuits from shareholders at Activision over the Microsoft Activision deal and PC Game Pass. Could it be making its way over to Steam? Welcome back to another video, guys. If you enjoy daily content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So ever since Microsoft acquired Obsidian and then followed that acquisition with Bethesda, people have been wanting a new Fallout New Vegas game, or even just a remaster or remake of the first Fallout New Vegas game. Now, it is available for you to go check out the original game on Xbox Game Pass, and you will see that the game is still very good in terms of the writing, the characters, the overall story, all that type of stuff. But the game itself hasn't, I don't think, aged very well. I did check it out a couple of months ago, and it is definitely an older game, and you can tell right away when you jump in and play. Well, with all of that being said, it looks like Fallout New Vegas 2 is reportedly in very early talks at Microsoft. Now, this comes via Jeff Grubb, and he says here, this is very early, but people have begun to have talks and say these words in sentences, and those words are Obsidian and New Vegas 2. We're talking years and years away. There's at least an interesting conversation happening about making something like that actually a reality. Now, this rumor itself from Jeff Grubb, I don't think it's a very far-fetched rumor. I think that it makes a lot of sense if Xbox and Microsoft are paying attention to games people love, what games that they want to see in the future. Fallout New Vegas 2 would just make a ton of sense, especially because both studios are now the same studio, essentially, with Xbox Game Studios. And it would be a huge hit if they went on E3 or any sort of show that they had in the future and announced Fallout New Vegas 2. People would go absolutely nuts. It's a guaranteed cash in, I think, for getting more people to subscribe to Xbox Game Pass and even just go out and purchase the game full price. So it makes a lot of sense, them in these early talks about trying to get this game going. I'm sure they firstly have to look at their schedule of the games they're currently making, when those are going to be done, and what resources they'll have for starting a new project. But Fallout New Vegas 2, I think, would be a great idea for Xbox Game Studios, and here's hoping that they actually make this game come to fruition. Now, back in 2013, Obsidian CEO Fergus Urquhart talked about New Vegas and shared ideas about potentially New Vegas 2, saying, "Oh, we'd love to do Fallout New Vegas 2. It would be awesome. I think of going from Fallout 1 to Fallout 2. We tried to associate the two areas somewhat closely. It wasn't just, oh, we're going to do this 2,000 miles from here. So I think if we're to do Fallout New Vegas 2 or just a new Fallout, we would probably separate it from the internal team at Bethesda's doing. We'd keep it on the West Coast because we're the West Coast people, they're East Coast, so it makes sense." So, I mean, this was back in 2013, them talking about wanting to do a follow-up to Fallout New Vegas, and I'm sure if this was pitched, they would be all in to try to make this thing happen. So ever since the Activision, Blizzard, and Microsoft deal was announced, it hasn't all been sunshine and roses, as this deal has had a lot of criticism around it, especially sparking up the monopoly consolidation arguments, thinking that Microsoft was becoming a monopoly in the gaming industry, which I don't think is anywhere near the truth, especially when you look at the gaming industry in totality. You look at companies like the Embracer Group and Tencent and the amount of acquisitions they're making. Microsoft is in no way a monopoly right now, even with the Activision Blizzard deal and all the studios that are going to be coming under their guidance. But besides that type of talk, it seems like some shareholders are not exactly happy with this deal, as there have been some lawsuits on the horizon for the Activision Blizzard deal. And there's a new one here that was filed by shareholder Kyle Watson in California. Now, the main thing he is talking about here is how this deal is really going to have benefits for senior management rather than for the board and all the shareholders and all that type of stuff. He says here, the lawsuit calls into question potential conflicts of interest, specifically that the deal is not in the best interest of Activision Blizzard nor company stockholders and will produce lucrative benefits for the Activision Blizzard's officers and directors. He specifically references the golden parachutes that the CEO, Bobby Kotick, is going to get if he gets fired. As we know, he's going to be making millions and millions of dollars no matter what happens in this deal. If he gets fired or if he decides he wants to stay on and they keep him on, he's still, no matter what, going to be walking away with multi-millions of dollars and going to be completely winning, you could say, at the end of this deal. He also goes on to talk about some SEC filings that they are materially misleading and incomplete, violating the Exchange Act, and calls out missing information in the SEC filing related to the ad hoc committee that ran the sales process, as well as information about post-transaction employment and other relevant data. Now, what he wants here is for Activision Blizzard to release new SEC preliminary proxy statements that include more facts and no untrue statements, he says there, and that if the transaction does go through, looking to receive rescissory damages. So you can tell some people are very upset about this deal going through. They are not happy with, I guess, the end of the stick that they're going to be getting once this does happen. And there has been an update to this, and it says an Activision Blizzard spokesperson provided the following comment: "We disagree with the allegations made in this complaint and look forward to presenting our arguments to the court." And you can go down here. I'll have the link below if you want to read through the entire document going over the lawsuit. It's a relatively long document. Unless you're in law, you probably won't really understand it. I didn't really understand much of it, but yeah, this is what's going on right now. This isn't the first time that a shareholder has filed a lawsuit. There's actually another one here. The plaintiff is Shiva Stein, just kind of bringing up similar complaints about the entire deal. I think one of the things people are upset with is the golden parachutes that the big CEOs are going to be getting, that Bobby Kotick is going to get. And that's just what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, looking at this from, I guess, just a layman's perspective, he is going to be getting away with a golden parachute. Nothing really you can do about that, but at least the employees currently working at Activision Blizzard now and then in the future are going to be going to a company in Microsoft that has a very good working environment, a very good reputation based off of what we know through Glassdoor and through people who have worked there and their comments on it. Compared to what they were working with at Activision Blizzard, in general, this is going to be a net positive, I think, for the industry and definitely for the employees who had to go through all of the bad things that were happening at Activision Blizzard. And finally, let's talk about Game Pass PC and Steam. This isn't the first time we've heard about this. However, it looks like Valve, at least, is very open to working with Microsoft on bringing over PC Game Pass to Steam. So this is from Gabe Newell. He says here, "I don't think this is something that we think we need to do ourselves, building a subscription service at the time. But for their customers, it's clearly a popular option, and we'd be more than happy to work with them to get that on Steam." Talking about PC Game Pass coming to Steam, saying, "We've talked to the people there quite a bit about that topic. If your customers want it, then you should figure out how to make it happen. That's where we are at." So that's pretty interesting information in terms of Steam, Xbox working together, eventually bringing over PC Game Pass to the service. We already know that they have a good working relationship. I mean, Xbox puts their first-party games on Steam on day one, the same day that they release them on Xbox and put them into Game Pass. And I think that's been pretty lucrative for Xbox because they're making those sales for the full price of the game, as well as getting people to sign up to Xbox Game Pass to play them. And I would love to see PC Game Pass come over to Steam if it was all just in one launcher, made everything super easy and super accessible. I think that would make such a better experience for PC gamers, because right now there are so many launchers out there. Even with the Xbox Game Pass app, it's just an additional thing where Steam is still the primary best launcher out there on PC. And then we have something like the Steam Deck that is coming out, and this would be just awesome to not have to natively install Windows on it if you're just primarily going to be using it just for gaming. That's all you care about. And then having access to PC Game Pass right through the Steam OS, just making it a lot easier in general and just more convenient for accessing your games, no matter what platform, what launcher that they are on. And at the end of the day, I think one of the big things that will get this going is obviously the deal that they make for this to happen. How much revenue is Xbox going to make if they were to put Game Pass in Steam, which would get more people onto Steam itself using the service? But they say here, one of the sticking points could be that Valve has 30% cut on software sales through Steam, and then 20% after sales reach 50 million. So we'd have to see how this would work with the PC Game Pass addition to it. And EA Play, as you know, EA Play is within Xbox Game Pass right now. It's also available in Steam. It started in 2020. Now it's only the basic EA Play, not EA Play Pro, which is still only exclusive to EA's Origin launcher. But there is that relationship, there is that integration, and imagine getting Game Pass, EA Play, and a bunch of other stuff integrated into Steam. So it's just kind of all there. You only have to open up one application rather than opening up multiple when you start playing games on your PC. I think everyone would really like to see this. And unless you're somebody who plays exclusively on anything but Steam on PC. That's it for me, guys. Let me know your thoughts on everything here. Fallout New Vegas 2, the lawsuits from Activision Blizzard shareholders, and PC Game Pass coming over to Steam potentially if they can work out some sort of deal. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you like what you saw, consider hitting subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.